Taking our Olympic look again as we gear up towards London 2012, taking our focus today on the sport of shooting and one of the greatest of all time. In fact, you could argue the greatest of all time. Michael Diamond, certainly the most successful clay target shooter of all time, two-time Olympic gold medalist, five-time Commonwealth Games gold medalist, looking to equal Dawn Fraser's record of three gold medals in the same event at the Olympics in 2012. Michael, thanks for giving us your time.
Thanks, Darren.
Now, we'll focus on the recent ISSF Shooting World Cup in Slovenia. How did you assess your form there, snaring, I think it was a silver?
Yeah, silver there, mate. Narrowly missing the goal by a shoot-off with the Spaniard. Giving him due credit, mate. He shot flawlessly, but, it was great to obviously win the quad spot for the country, which gets us a berth at the Olympic Games for next year in London. So that was a relief in itself.
Is that, I guess, had you have, or the team not achieved that hurdle, were there other, I guess, means or ways with which to get through, or was that basically the major opportunity?
No, there is other means, mate. Plan B would have been obviously to go to the Oceania Games and compete against the oceanic countries which compete in our sport. But, obviously we'd like to win it at the world stage because we are good enough to do that. And obviously having won it at the World Cup in Slovenia, it is perfect timing for me because now I can concentrate purely, at the competition, the World Championships at hand itself. So, I'm going in there with great expectations. I want to obviously, have a podium finish at the World Championships, but, fingers crossed.
So what's next between now and the World Championships, now that you're able to focus solely on that? What do you do between now and then?
Just a little bit of practice, mate, and also we've got an Australia Cup event, which is held at Brisbane. These Australia Cup events are held probably 5 to maybe 6 times a year, and it's Australia's best shooters where they come together and compete against each other in order to be able to get the minimum qualifying score out of 125, which is 121 minimum clay targets out of a possible 125. Anybody in Australia who gets that particular score will then obviously get themselves a Guernsey to compete internationally. So, it's obviously getting Australia shooting together and competing at high level in our country.
Now, you've obviously been around the game for a long, long time. In terms of some of the young shooters coming through as well that could represent the next generation or be able to jump up and I guess assist you in terms of the medal haul going forward, who are some of the young competitors that we can look forward to?
Yeah, there's two that come to mind, especially a young man from Newcastle by the name of Russell McCloy, who was overseas with us just recently, and also a young gentleman from Sydney called Michael McNabb, along with a string of probably a half a dozen good other young lads around the place. These two young gents I just mentioned are definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in the very near future at this level of competition internationally. And they're also very good ambassadors, so I'm very proud of them, in fact, the way they hold themselves.
In terms of the final lead-up preparations to say, the Olympic Games, obviously having been there a few times, I guess once the World Championships is out of the way, is there a sort of a set routine or a set system that you go through in preparation for the Games that you'll ramp up again next year before London? Yes,
there is a bit of a role there, mate. I certainly lay right off as far as practice is concerned completely, and especially competing in Australia for probably a good 6 to 8 weeks. Before a World Cup event, I will definitely die right off because it's impossible for anybody. It doesn't matter how good you are in the world to hold and maintain a super high peak. If it's good to peak, and then you've got to come back down equally as fast, and that's what I do. And I do it, preferably anywhere between 6 to 4 weeks from the competition at hand.
That's an interesting insight, I guess, in regards to the preparations that's required as well. With the pairs event, have you been with the same competitor or the trap pairs? Have you had the same partner most of the time?
In the Commonwealth Games,
yes.
It's been Adam Vella.
Yeah. How did that partnership come about, I guess, first and foremost, and is that still a partnership that you'd be looking to have going forward?
Absolutely, yeah. No, Adam's a world contender and very highly ranked in the world. And Adam's been shooting equally as long as what I have in Australia and possibly internationally. I might have a few more years on him, but yeah, we've won the last 3 Commonwealth gold medal teams events together. So that's an outstanding bit of time there between the two of us, and I hopefully it can keep on going for a few more years yet, because that's how long it's going to take, for these young people to come through the ranks and take over our position.
In terms of a lifespan within the sport, have you put your a time frame on how long you plan to keep going, and I guess what the norm is in regards to the level where you feel you can still compete at the highest level?
Yeah, look, I think that, as being clay target shooters, we're very blessed that it's not a very physical sport, but in the next breath saying that, we do have to keep some kind of physical peak. Unlike the swimmers, of course, those poor people have got a window of approximately 8 years, where I've been going for now 30 years, and I can keep going for approximately another 8 years, so that'll give me 2 to maybe 3 more Olympic Games under my belt, which I'd be happy to do. I think the key to anybody's success in the sport is having that drive and that ambition to be where you are and to constantly improve yourself. And I do have that, all hand in hand with each other. So, yeah, I love what I do, and I can't see myself stopping in the early future. But I mean, I am 39 years old, and if the sport sees me out, at 47 or 48, well then, I can say that I've had a blissful career.
Speaking of that blissful career, we look at all of the accomplishments, the gold at the Olympics, the gold at the Com Games. What's the standout moment that you look at on now? It's probably hard to split, but is it the first gold medal at Atlanta? Is it the victory on home soil at Sydney in 2000? Is it the recent success in Delhi last year? Is there anything that stands out amongst you, whether it be World Championships or the like?
Yeah, Darren, I've got to say that obviously winning Australia's first Olympic gold medal in Athens was truly an eye-opener for me. Obviously, first competing at the Olympic Games 4 years prior to that, which was 92 in Barcelona. I went to Atlanta with my eyes closed, really, and very happy-go-lucky, and didn't really recognise the talent that, well, you could probably say that I had. But, obviously winning Australia's first Olympic gold medal in Atlanta was very surprising for me, and I've got to say Sydney was incredibly significant as well in its own rights. For any athlete to go and represent at that sort of level at an Olympic Games anyway is a dream, but to come away with a medal on their home soil is, a dream fulfilled. And I think that, yes, they're both very important to me, and both of those times equally stand out as much for me as anything else. And, it's one of those things that's unbelievable. I've got to pinch myself sometimes to really make sure that it was true. As
I mentioned at the start, I guess the chance to equal Dawn Fraser's record of winning 3 gold medals in the same event, how much would that sit alongside? I know I guess it's hard until the event that it does happen, but to hold that little place of history as well as being able to do something that the great Dawn Fraser was able to do as well.
Yeah, look, I look up to Dawn as an athlete. In fact, my older brothers got taught by her, swimming and all that sort of thing back in Sydney when we were living there. So to be able to look at Dawn Fraser as she is the icon of Australia in sport, it's kind of hard. I mean, I don't want to sort of jump the gun or anything like that and think that, it could possibly well be done, because I know how hard it is to win an Olympic gold medal, just 1, 2, and possibly 3. Well, God, I think you've got to be as lucky as winning lotto. But, you've got to throw your hat in the ring, I suppose, at the end of the day to try and obtain that, that hard-earned sweat. So, look, and that's what I'm going to do. But to be in that kind of category, mate, it would be anybody's dream come true, really.
Certainly would. Michael, we appreciate your time. Good luck between now and the World Championships, and then looking on to London as well. We certainly appreciate you giving us your time. You're a superstar, and it's been a delight to chat. Yes.